A good speech delivers content. A great speech delivers results. So a good speech informs. A great speech influences. It's not just what you say that's important. It's what they remember. It's not just about speaking. It's about engagement. The challenge is to captivate their attention and steal them away from BlackBerry, Crackberry brain. Am I right? Because it's like, oh my God, they're out there and it's like they're text messaging. You're up here being amazing. You could be naked. And they're out there and they're text messaging. They walk into the room preoccupied. Would you agree? The challenge is to engage attention, captivate and hold attention long enough that you can insert some learning into the process. It's not simply about speaking. It's about engagement. Without engagement, I cannot influence behavior. So there are 8 core elements to emotional eloquence. The first element is engage first, then motivate. So core element number 1, engage first, then motivate. So let's kind of look back on how I started this speech, knowing that I designed this speech to model my 8 core elements. All of the first 3 or 4 minutes is designed to get you to go, oh, this is cool. And to get you to think about your life, not about my content, your life, your questions, your stuff. And then I come into, because it's not just what you say that's important, it's what people remember, which is what I call a provocative statement. Now, I call emotional eloquence the lost language of leadership, because I don't see that very often from the CEOs and the presidents and the vice presidents that speak before me on the platform when I go to give a keynote or when I go to do a training. I don't see it anywhere. And I call it the lost language of leadership because watching Oscar, I got it. The guy's in his 70s. He started speaking to his employees before there were overheads, much less PowerPoint and, text messaging. He's from the old school of you look at people and you talk to them eye to eye, heart to heart. But we have become slaves to PowerPoint, slaves to too much content. And I'm not saying PowerPoint is not good, or I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm saying, how do we engage people so that we hold them? He was a wisdom sharer. He wasn't there to deliver a lot of content. He understood it about context as much as content. So he shared his wisdom. In emotional eloquence, this program is about becoming a wisdom sharer, becoming a motivator, an influencer, not just delivering content. So as you move up in an organization and you get up into that vice president level, that director level, that C level, you're no longer supposed to get up there and click through PowerPoint slides and do pie charts. Your job is now influence me, share your wisdom, lead me forward. Emotional eloquence is about influence. So I want to give you a definition of emotional eloquence. It is the ability to positively affect the moods and emotions of a group of people, thereby elevating morale and increasing productivity and cooperation. You got to be a little bit dangerous. One of my principles is safe is a very dangerous place to be. Up here, would you agree? Safe is a very dangerous place to be. So the challenge is to stop looking at presentations, focusing on content alone, and to start thinking about the emotional connection, the engagement that you have with your audience. Starting to conceptualize before you even design a speech or a training, what do I want them to feel? That second core message is that emotion is the fast lane to the brain, and the Dagger Lady story creates that emotional connection. If you want to connect with people, you've got to actually go around the left brain. The third core message is use stories and metaphors to frame your content. Core element number 4 is brand your message by weaving a theme. So what have I done so far with what I call a phrase that pays? I said, speak from your head with your heart wide open. Did anybody write it down? Catchy language, isn't it? This is what we're looking for, branding statements and messages. I said emotion is the fast lane to the brain. Not only did I say it, I gave it to you on the card. Now it's not just auditory, it's visual. Core element number 5 is design your speech yourself. So when you are going to strategically design your speech, number 6 is you've got to go deep, not wide. Now you've probably heard Zig Ziglar's quote, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's not just the what that you want to communicate, it's the why. It's more context, less content. Core element number 7 is that as you are designing your presentation, you have to appeal to people's higher aspirations and moral convictions. So the 8th and final piece of this puzzle is to close your speech with a message of hope. After you've delivered your presentation, your training, I want you to start thinking in the last 3 or 4 minutes of my presentation, how can I inspire and help them feel hopeful and positive about the future? What's important is that you make your impression count. Thank you.